Hello, thank you. So today I'll be a speaker for this workshop. I'm Bulong, associate
Good,
software.
you have to share your screen, I think.
Yeah.
I will
yeah,
stop.
hold on. Okay. You can see?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm an associate software engineer with GovTech. Firstly, I want to thank all of you for taking time to attend this workshop. So probably without further ado, let's start with the workshop. Okay. Okay. On my slide, on my this first slide here, I have prepared the link for this slide. So you can go over to this link to download the slides for your own use. There's also the workshop materials over here, which contains, if you download it, it will contain a folder of demo videos, which is basically some pre-recording of the runs that I did. If let's say you are stuck halfway, you can always refer to the videos here. Within this folder, there's also a raw documents folder. Then there's also a README file for you to write down your document store or your wallet address later on, which I will demo it later. There's also this list of useful command line, the commands that you can run so that you don't have to keep reference to the documentation. I mean, it's all prepared here. We'll run through this one by one. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the TradeTrust website. Okay, the TradeTrust website, there's two. One is at this is the production website. This is connected to mainnet, the Ethereum network, and for dev.tradetrust, is connected to the Robson network. For today's workshop, we'll be dealing mainly with at Robson network, so we'll be using this link. So if you look over here at the page, right, the few areas that we'll be talking about within this workshop will be this thing. We will learn how to create this document, right? Then we will learn how to configure the DNS here. And also we will be touching a bit about the custom renderer over here. Hold on. Okay. For the prerequisites, right, make sure you have Node.js installed. Then also make sure that you have a GitHub account. And ideally, probably have a few basic knowledge on using the command line. And optionally, you can go with the metamask Chrome extension way of dealing with transaction on blockchain. Okay, so for this workshop, we'll mainly use the open attestation CLI to get things done. Yeah, if you're going through the MetaMask account way, right, make sure to get some Ether for your account, for your wallet account. Yeah, because those are needed to make transactions. Like the MetaMask wallet account, right? The wallets are basically applications that can hold Ethers. So these are needed to like make transactions on the blockchain. If you cannot remember anything from the workshop, right, just remember these two links. So these two links will contain like all the stuff you need to create verifiable documents. Okay, what you will learn is that you will learn how to create a wallet using the Open Attestation CLI or by the MetaMask extension. So you also learn how to deploy a document store using the OA CLI with the generator wallet or by the MetaMask account private key. Then you also know you'll also be learning how to configure a text record with your deployed document store address. Then you will know how to wrap a document using OA, issue the document using OA also. Then after that, finally read the document by drag drop the document file onto TradeTrust website. Additional topic I will talk about is how to deploy your custom renderer. So what we'll make use of is mainly GitHub and Netlify. And I'll probably demo how to make some edits to the custom document renderer. I prepared like a mind map for the grand scheme of things. So at the overview, you can see like what's the relationship and which step we are in within this entire flow. So maybe we will probably start with here first. Let's go back to the example that we have, the one that have the sample file. If you remember, this is the sample file. Let's download it and see what's inside. Okay, so this is your sample file. You can see that it's like a JSON file. Then some data here. I just want to show, say, if you remember this field here, 101 Orchard Road, right? You can probably find it within here. Yeah, over here. So this is actually what you call the document, the verifiable document itself. What's happening here is that this document underwent one-way hashing. So it kind of make the document tamper-proof. So if I try to like sneak in and maybe like edit the address, right? This should give me an error that is being tampered with. Yeah. Let's undo this. Try again. Yeah. Okay. Then another thing that I want to highlight again that we are on the Robson network. So yeah, it's a test network. So the only difference between Robson and Mainnet is that Mainnet uses real money. So Robson, you can keep requesting for dummy credits. Then you can do your development within here. So the intro. What can be considered a verifiable document? So some of the examples that we can have is like it could be an e-invoice, a certificate, which you just now what you saw, the sample one, packing list or purchase order. And if you remember just now, the file itself is nothing more, it's just a JSON file. Yeah. So we will now try to make them verifiable in this workshop. Again, make sure you have Node.js installed. So over here, just check that it's there. Like you can do a version. Then you will need to install the Open Attestation CLI globally. If you don't want to, you can run it directly using like npx. Like so the M is like manager, so X is execute. So what this means is that you execute the package directly within here. But for today, we won't do this. We'll for convenience sake, we'll just install it globally over here. So this is a command to run. To check whether it's like successfully installed, you can do like a version. or see help what arguments is there, options. Yeah, these are all the available options. So if you click to the repo, right, wait. So this is the CLI repo. You can see the version, the latest version is like 124. Just now what we checked was 1242. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now we will go on to creating a wallet. Okay. There's two ways of creating a wallet. Remember now that we are at step one. So the two ways is that either we use OA CLI to generate the wallet JSON file. Alternatively, we can use the MetaMask Chrome extension to create a wallet account. So we will create it by the OA CLI for the first one. Okay, let's see. Okay, over here, if you downloaded the workshop material, right, you can see that I already prepared like this folder. Maybe we'll just do everything within here. So let's cd to here first. To check whether you are at the correct directory, correct our document. So the first command to run is open extension wallet create output file. So again, I already prepared the command within here. Just have to copy and paste. So the very first step, install CLI, then create a wallet. So notice here the wallet not created yet. When it's created, it will be generated over here. Dash fund Robson is to tell it to give it a 1 ether fund to this particular address. You have to have this argument. If not, your wallet has no funds and you probably can't do anything with it. So let's try. It will prompt you to create a password. So the password can be anything. Okay, you created a wallet that is connected to Robson and added a fund, 1 ether fund to this particular address. So yeah, successfully created, and you see your wallet JSON is here. So how does it look like? It just look like the JSON file. Yeah, that's it. And you probably want to copy your public address somewhere. So we'll keep referencing these values throughout the workshop. So it's good to copy it somewhere because eventually you need to copy paste into the commands also. So I'll put it here. So save your public address somewhere in case and never lose your wallet file. Keep it safe. It's just the same thing as a wallet. You know, wallet inside you have your identification card, your money. You don't want to be losing your wallet because if anyone gets hold of your identification card, right, they probably can pass off as you. So yeah, not to share it and try to keep it safe. Okay, the alternative way is using the MetaMask extension. So this one you can go to the link here to download. It's basically an extension itself. So how does it look like? It looks something like this. Once you download it, it will appear here. Then I'm gonna log in my one. This is what I have. So create some wallet accounts. If you see here, I have quite a number of accounts, like this one account, one account, one account. How much ethers are there inside this account? So the equivalent, you can treat it as this is one wallet, right? So I actually created a burner account. So and remember to request for some ethers. These are two links that you can request for ether lah. So over here you can put in your public address, which is this one. So if you check 0x4b56, 0x4b56, this will send like 1 ether to your account. Then there's also another link also. This one also send test ether lah. But the gist of it is that there's a limit lah. So I think 24 hours, within 24 hours, you can only request for 1 ether. Then after that, they will block you. Then probably you wait till the next day, then you can request the ether again. Yeah. Okay, now we'll go on to deployment document store. Now we are at here. We created the wallet JSON file. So now we're going to try to deploy the document store to Robson here, over here. This is the command to run, and this is the example. So if you see, the first argument is like a document store, like what's the store name? It can be anything. So this is just a string. So you can put the example here. We just put like my first document store. There's a network also, like either Mainnet, Robson, or like a few other networks. So far only these two. And this is the encrypted wallet path where your wallet JSON is lying at. So we probably want to put in where the path is. Okay, let's do that. Again, you can reference to this. Here I already have it. Remember now we are in this folder, so our wallet JSON is here. So this makes sense. I'll use the wallet JSON here. So it prompts me for my password. Your wallet password, yeah. In the event that previously, let's say you got grey listed, right? Then you have no more funds, right? When you try to deploy the document store, right? Then it will give you an error. It will tell you that isn't sufficient funds. So what you need to do is that you have to transfer funds to your wallet address. I'll talk about this in the next slide, I think. Let's wait a while for the transaction to be passed. Sometimes like you have to wait quite a while, like depending on how busy the blockchain is. Yeah. But if it's gonna take like really very long, I have some demo videos. We can reference from there also. Yeah, but let's wait for one more. It's taking some time. Okay, maybe let me touch on the topic that if your account has not enough money. So remember that we have the metamask account. So I created this burner account. Then if you remember just now, we copied down the public wallet address. So what you do is from here, I already have some like ethers I can send to my the wallet address that I just created. So click it within here, then you call it maybe to next. Then let me put back first. Let me try again. This one. Forgot to put in the number of iter on the send, so I probably send like 0.1 only, which is quite a lot already. And send. Yeah, so transaction is like happening now, but we had to wait a while also. Yeah, that's taking quite some time. So anyway, you can check out the Robston iter scan link here. So usually it looks something like that. So if you see that I just created the wallet and now I'm trying to deploy the document store and still pending. Not sure why. Yeah, I just like transfer myself 0.1 iter also. Okay, then let's reference to the demo video that I have. Okay, so this is actually from this folder, the workshop material. So you can see like 03 deploy doc store. So this is what gonna happen when it's being successfully deployed. So if you see the same thing, that there's insufficient funds. So this was what happened when I did the dry run. So I decided to send some ether to myself. Then okay, when if you see just now, when it's done, right, then you'll show this that successfully minus 0.2 from your account. So the other one has some ether now. So I'm going to try this command again to deploy and see what happens. So yeah, usually you see it's like pretty fast here. It's done successful. So what you have is like this document store that is being deployed at this public address. So same thing, you want to copy this like somewhere over here. Yep. Let's see, fingers crossed. Yes. So it's successfully deployed. I don't know why it took so long, but let's copy this somewhere. This is our document store. Okay. This one. This. Back to the slides. Yeah, save your document store area somewhere in case you forget. The alternative way, the metamask. So for metamask, you in order for you to deploy the document store, you have to define your private key. So how do you get your private key from your account? So if you go into here, my burner account. So you check your account details and you export your private key over here. So for this one is okay, then you can like put in your password and you'll give you your private key over here. So you'll need this. Let's copy this. Okay, so the command to run is that be sure to like store your private key variable within here first. So what is the command is, let's do that. Stop says the one that we copied just now, that private key. Yeah, so how to double check that is there? You can do like print environment. OA. Is there? So same thing. You run this on like deploy document store with a store name that you can give the network. This time around, we don't have to put in the wallet because you are doing the MetaMask way. Right? The key is being referenced within here. So you have to export this one before you run this command. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. So once you are done, you can also like unset your private key. So if you try to print it again, it's not there anymore. Again, the same advice, save your document store address somewhere in case you forget. Okay, configuring DNS. Now we are this step here. So now that we have a document store on Robson, you probably want to create a link up with a domain name that you have. So the OA provides you a method to create a temporary like domain name. This lasts 1 day, 24 hours. So let's see the command here. The argument that it needs is document store and network ID 3. 3 refers to Robson. Yeah. Then this is the example. You put in your address, then it should create the domain name, the temp one. Again, let's see what happens. Okay, let's do this. So this one you need to replace with your document store address just now. So which is this. Okay, it's being successfully created. You have this domain name that you can use for the next 24 hours. So let's copy this somewhere. Okay. Then you need to verify that your text record is like being successfully added to this particular domain name. So the command is that you need to pass in that location, the domain name, then same thing network 3. So let's see. This is what you will get when there is a success response. Yep. So it successfully show that there's one record here which we just now put in our document address over here. So this is what it looks like. It's correct, successful. Then if you go through the common way that using a domain registrar, you have to go into your particular hosting provider or your domain host to go in and add it in manually. So the example that I have is like on Freenom. I'll just like roughly show you how does it look like. Not particularly just like pertaining to just Freenom lah, because like you got your GoDaddy, you got your Namecheap, those are also like your domain host. So the Freenom one looks like this. You go to manage domain. Oh, we got signed up. So I mean the interface varies between your domain host, so it can be some other things. So for my domain name, the brew.tk, you can see that I already added like 3 text records here with the document address over here. So I technically have 3 document address like typed to this domain name. So any documents issued with these 3 address, right, it will work. It will show like brew.tk on the viewer page. Yeah, so you are using this, you probably, as usual, you need to wait a while for your DNS to propagate. So, I mean, a safe estimation is maybe 48 hours or late or faster, right? It really depends. So let's look at creating raw documents over here. So we were from here, now we came from here. So this is like another track already. Okay, this is the open attestation schema. You can open up this link, then you roughly take a look. Within this schema, you can tell that the required field is issuer. So in your JSON file, this is a must, so make sure you include that. Then test your raw document against this schema. So this is a place where you can test. The schema here is custom, so it's as per what is being copied from here. So if you see, it's the same thing like at the bottom part, the required one is issuer. So if I try to like don't have issuer, like there's a, you will tell me that this is not a valid one. So we have to keep to this. As for the rest of the shape of the data, like recipient, all this, it's pretty much up to how you want to shape it. You can put like recipients or like it still validates the schema. Okay. Wait, let me see. There's a, I think Q&A, is it? I'll probably like go to that after this. So where did I? Okay, yeah, so if you're looking at the raw document, right, like previously mentioned, the issuer is a mask field. Then there's also this template field where you have to put in your domain name, this domain name value. And your issuer, the document store value is the one that you just deployed just now. Yep. So now we'll move on to wrapping the document with OA over here. So if you remember the sample file, the one that we have here, this is an example of a wrap file where you have all these like funny letters, right? So now we'll go through how to do this, the one-way hash thing. And after you do a wrap document, you will get the Merkle root value, which this is needed for issuing the document onto blockchain. So the difference between a file that is like unwrapped and after when it's wrapped, you can see that this is the before, this is the after. So you can see that a version of the schema is being appended in. Then there's also another field called signature, which will give you the Merkle root value that you need later on. So other than these two, the shape of the data remains the same. We have the issuer, we have a template, we have your like other fields, etc. And yeah, the funny string numbers are being added over here after when it's being wrapped. So let's go through with, there's two ways that you can either like batch wrap your documents or you can single wrap the document. So the command is that you put in your input document path here and your output. So let's try this. As you can see, I already have the raw documents folder over here. So what we'll do is just run this command. So you can see that it successfully created. There's a warp documents folder with the wrap documents. If you click in and see, this is the raw one. So this is the raw one, then this is the wrap one. Same thing, like version is being added, signature is being added, and the data gets the hashing. Okay, now, oh yeah, now that we have wrapped this document, right, if you try to put this document onto your verifier, right, it should not work. So let's see. I'm using the wrap documents, the third one. Yeah. So I noticed there's another error. So I did not update my issuer and identity. So that's something that I forgot to do. Let's go back to the code. I'm going to delete this. So if you remember just now, we created the document store, right? We need to update this to our deployed document store, and we need to update the temporary domain name that we just created just now. So what I need to do is I have to put this in onto this cert. So same thing, go on here. Then I have to put this one, update. This. Then this one also do update. So let's do a wrap. Let's try this one again. We should show only one error now. Yeah, it only shows one error now. This is correct. This is expected because I haven't issued yet. So now we're going to go through on issuing part. Yeah. So issuing the document, yeah, you need the Merkle value from the documents that you just read just now. So what this does is that you will put these documents on the blockchain on option. So let's look at the command. The value that you need to change is your document store, and yeah, basically the Merkle, you need to input the Merkle root value. So let's see. Now we are at the issuing part. Document store value. Hash Merkle, which is from document, this one. So you see these two, right? The Merkle is the same, these two wrap document. So yeah, this is the value that we need. Let's hope this time will be fast. Yeah, I think I'll just leave this here first. Okay, so if you are issuing document by metamask, right, it's pretty much the same thing. You need to export your OA private key. Then the command to run is the same thing. Yeah, so when it's successfully issued, you will probably get something like that. Now at the reading document part, let's say the issuing was successful. So you can take the file that was being read and drag and drop, and you should be able to see your document in the tutorial document renderer. So, yes. So successful. Now let's try the web documents. Let's go back to the dev here. Try these two documents. Yeah, now it's successfully verified. Issued by the domain name just now that you just created. And this is like a certificate one to John Doe. And also like certificate to same issued by here. Then to Mary Jane. Yeah, so this is what you'll see if everything is successful. Yep. So now I'll talk about the additional topic about deploying the custom renderer. So if you notice the custom renderer is right all the way at the right side. This is external like page that is being loaded as an iframe over here. So if you see within this page, right, let's take a quick look. You can see that it's an iframe loaded from this particular URL. So if you go here, is a blank page. This is expected because the template that we have is like that, but this is correct. So, so I'll probably like roughly go through like how do you do like a custom renderer setup. We have a starter template at this particular repo, so we can go over here. Make sure you are working, so this button will appear. Then you can use this template. Create the repo name that you want, it could be anything. Then make sure it's public, then create from here. So I already created one, so I name it as workshop renderer. So what this does is actually taking all the code from the starter template and using it as my own. So now I have this code over here on my own repo. I can make changes to it. I'm going to briefly run through how does the development look like. Let's look at the repo. So the repo that I created is called workshop renderer. So the files are all over here already. Quick look here. So here. Right. So this is the repo that we just like cloned. Just to see some like what is the available scripts to run. Within here, you can see that you can do like npm test build dev, what does it run, there's lean fix also, storybook. So all this is like within your package JSON also anyway. So you can reference to here. These are the commands that you can run. Yeah, so let's see the storybook one. Okay, this is my render. This is how my cert looks like. Nothing fancy. I'm just like, I didn't make any change. So this is the default thing. You can do whatever you want with the template. That's basically about that. Let's say, it's a way to add an image here. See what happens. I can add a like dog image here. Change it to like image. This is basically like how you want your cert or invoice to look like. So I don't want this. Let's say I don't want this. Yeah, it's pretty much how you want it to be. Okay. Now that you have this repo on your GitHub, you probably want to connect to like you can technically like build the files and like FTP it somewhere and put down the files like over there, and is that's your custom renderer. So for our case, we are using Netlify. Just a very quick run through how does it look like. So over here I have Netlify. I already connected it to my that particular repo that I just cloned, which is over here. So what you do on your this page here, right? Let's say you don't have this yet. You click a new site from Gig and choose GitHub. Then it's connected. There's a few repo that you can choose. The one that I choose was this. So when you choose here, right, put your build command, which is npm run build. Okay. Is it? Wait, let me check. Just double check. npm, yep. Then the folder to serve from is this folder. So this one, you make sure you put to this, then you deploy site. So once you deploy site, right, you have this URL. So this URL is your public URL where your renderer is sitting at. So if I go to here, right, it's the same thing. I'll be seeing a blank decentralized renderer, same as the one that we use in the tutorial. This is correct. Okay, let's try to make some change to this renderer, and we see how does it really work. First off, I need to rewrap my documents with the updated values. So okay, let's delete this file. So your wrap document. Okay. I probably need my yeah, let me try to remember. Let me see where was my document store. I think this was the store. Okay. Locations. So just updating my visual values. So let me double check it. My burner account. That's correct. Mouse. Oh. The red files. Let's do an issue. I'm gonna do an issue now. Same thing. Export this. To replace a private key. I think I should be the correct document. So let's try. I can't really remember. Typo. Oh. Bad demo. Okay, never mind. Let's not waste time. Maybe let's see the demo video that I already prepared. Okay. So it's the same thing. You can see that I'm running the storybook. I decided to add a picture. And I do a commit to my workshop renderer. So I added a doc to this custom renderer. So yeah, it's successfully deployed. Double check here, it's running the build. Yeah, so I have to wait for it to build. Okay. Yeah, when it's successfully built, it will be published. Thereafter, you can do the check, see whether your doc appears. Yeah, there you have it. So this is your custom renderer. Yes. Let's go back to the slides. Drag and drop, make some edits, push those up, see your reflected changes, and you can reference the detailed steps over here. There's very detailed steps here you can follow step by step on how to do it on your end. Yeah. Oh, another thing probably I want to mention is about the template registry. just to take note, just to keep note. So you see your workshop renderer just now. The folder structure, you roughly take a look. This is your template registry. So you can define a number of templates within here. So over here we have custom and we have read. What does this mean? On your document end, right? On your raw document end, right? The name here has to tally with this. So let's say you have a custom template, right? Then this you have to rename it as custom, okay? So this is for the template side. Then you go one level down. Yeah, this is your custom template where you make all the changes. Yeah, this is just something I'll highlight. Like you have to tally the name to your template registry. Okay, yeah, we reached about the end. Yeah, so let's do a recap. We learned how to create a wallet. So there's two ways you can do the OA way to generate a wallet JSON or the metamask wallet account. In these two cases, we are making use of a private key to deploy the document store to Obston. Okay, so when document store is there, you can use it to configure your DNS. Which will appear in your application. Then also on a separate track, you can start creating your raw document, which is like JSON files. Wrap it to get the Merkle root, then issue it using the both values that you just had from your document store and Merkle root in a way your transaction appears within the Obston network blockchain. So from there, once this step is done, only then you can read the document and it will be verified correctly with the custom renderer that you just built. Then this is the list of all the useful links. You can check them out. It's pretty comprehensive. So, anything you're not sure, you can always go to here. And also, yeah, the too long didn't read version is like basically the workshop materials. So yeah, you can always reference to there and go through it step by step. I think this is the end of my presentation. So I'll pass it back to Pei-Yin. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you very much, Boon, for walking us through and sharing the details on what we need to do in order to create a verifiable document. Now we have reached the Q&A segment. We are opening up questions to our attendees. So please key in your question to the Q&A. So we have already answered 3 earlier questions. Now we have 2 open questions. Will Boon or Raymond take this up? So the first one is this available as a service deployed on the cloud? If not, are there plans in the roadmap to do this? Can Boon answer this?
If I'm not wrong, not really. Like you probably have to build up your own. Like the plan is that we provide the tools. So different respective entities should try to build their own this software as a service on their own. You see, as whether if there's any plans in the roadmap to do so, I'm not very sure yet. I don't think there is. Is it?
Raymond, you have anything to add on?
Yeah, so the whole idea of being decentralized is that the government, IMDA or GovTech or Singapore as a whole does not own the infrastructure. And for that reason, we cannot say that we forbid certain organization or certain country from using it altogether. So for that reason, we are trying to keep this as open as possible. And that means that everyone has to own their different parts of the decentralized application altogether. That's it. The only piece of application that we are hosting right now is the viewer itself, the one that you see at TradeTrust.io, dev.tradetrust.io. And that's the only piece that we really need. Because for everything else, every organizations are able to deploy whatever they need. But for sure, we have some services that actually help organizations who are smaller to help them set up the infrastructure faster, or to not set up the entire stack of infrastructure. So if you were to look at the later webinar series, I think in webinar number 5, right, we will actually showcase to you how an organization who does not have a huge stack of infrastructure can actually set up this environment such that their staff, whether it's like admin staff or admin clerk, can actually make use of the applications and get running with the business as usual. Yeah. So there are check out webinar 5. That would be interesting. Yeah. But for the bulk of it, we expect you to set up the rest of the infrastructure yourself. So Boon has already showcased to you how do you set up the decentralized renderer, and that's the only thing you really need. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Raymond. The next question is a technical question. Is there a way to deploy the document store and issue document via the OA NPM library, therefore not using a CLI?
Yeah, so I'll take this. So Zaini, for this particular case, there are ways to run it using code, but I actually do not suggest you to do so. Why? Because to deploy the document store, it's actually a one-time process for the entire organization. So actually just running the CLI once, that would be simple enough, right? As for issuing the document, there is actually support for that in our packages, but right now we did not expose to you in a standard library. So for the moment, we do expect you to use the CLI. The other alternative is to join webinar number 5, where we showcase to you how a user can actually do it from the comfort of a web app instead.